Chargers at the Ravens. This is the game everybody's going to be keeping an eye on this week. These are two teams that certainly have not only deep playoff run aspirations, but maybe even Super Bowl aspirations now with the way that the Chargers have come around on this. This line has moved a lot. This thing was the Chargers 3.5 point dogs to the Ravens. It moved to 3 pretty quickly, sat at 3 for a while, now down to 2.5 in favor of the Ravens, a 52 or 52.5 point total in this one. Steven, now this is a game I'm definitely interested in. I took the 3.5 on the Chargers. I couldn't believe that it was 3.5 on the Chargers after what we saw from the Ravens team this past week. Now, you can say that you like what you saw on the offensive side of the ball from them. You can say that you like what you saw from Lamar Jackson passing, and that's all fine and dandy and all well and good for sure. But this is a Chargers team that has played, by and large, much better defense this season, and certainly a Chargers team that rolls in with a much better offense than the Colts have, as well. And the Colts were able to go out there and just shred this Ravens team. There's a lot of injury report stuff that we're going to need to be monitoring. Sammy Watkins didn't practice for this Ravens team, where, they did move Ben Cleveland, one of their offensive linemen, to injured reserve. So he got moved to injured reserve. We're going to look at the status of a couple of other of these offensive linemen for the Ravens as well. But as we sit right now, I didn't really care about any of that. If you were giving me more than a field goal and you were giving me the hook, I was taking that on this Chargers team. That said, there are 3 still available right now out there. So you're getting a field goal with the Chargers against this Ravens team that looks pretty vulnerable on the defensive side of the ball.
Wrong teams rated higher in this game to me. I mean, based on this spread, if you give a point and a half for home field, the market's telling us that the Ravens are rated higher than the Chargers. I disagree with that. I think the Chargers should be rated higher than the Ravens. This is why I bet it at plus 3.5 on the look ahead. Took my shot that there wouldn't be a significant injury for the Chargers. So I would still bet this at plus 3. This week, I'm with you with that. I also added a Chargers teaser leg at plus 9. I'm good with plus 8.5 if we get the 2.5s across the board here as kickoff approaches. So it's not a perfect teaser leg with a total of 52, but again, I think the wrong side is rated higher than the other in this one. So, I mean, overall with the Ravens, when they have the ball, the issue I will acknowledge is the Chargers rushing defense. And, can they score enough points, the Chargers offense, to overcome that deficiency in stopping the run? They're 31st in rush D DVOA, 29th in rush D grade by PFF, 27th in run stop win rate. So Brandon Staley, on top of that, it's clear that he has recognized that. There's been reports and rumors that they've been trying since training camp to get Akeem Hicks in a trade, the stout defensive run stopper for the Chicago Bears. They haven't been able to do it yet, but it's obvious that Staley recognized this as a flaw in his defense. But here's the dirty little secret with the Ravens offense. Their run game hasn't been elite this year.
No, the Ravens, it hasn't been efficient at all. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're 25th in rush EPA. They're 12th in success rate, 16th in rush DVOA, 22nd in rush O grade by PFF. Their offensive line has been bad, like you said, and now they have a couple injuries on top of that. They're 25th in adjusted line yards. They've been doing this with Lamar Jackson through the air. So if you still hear some talking heads on the sports network saying Lamar Jackson still has to grow as a passer, like turn it off and never watch it again, because it's nonsense, because he has been awesome through the air. They're top 10 across the board in those advanced stats, but that's not the way to take advantage of this Chargers defense. So flip it to the other side of the ball, and the Chargers have huge advantages against this Ravens defense. 6th in EPA against a 21st ranked Ravens DVOA defense, 7th in DVOA for the Chargers, though, against the number 22 Ravens DVOA defense. I mean, that's significant enough for me to take the Chargers as field goal underdogs or more. And it looks like you're going to run out of time here if you wait to try and get that field goal. Final thought, Matt. I can't turn on Twitter without seeing Brandon Staley these days. And the Chargers division futures are like almost even money now, but I wouldn't bet that. I think Brandon Staley plus 450 for coach of the year, if they pull this off in the division, is a great bet right now. And even if they don't win the division and still win like 13 games, he could still win this award. So I'm going to lock in a plus 450 despite him being the favorite for coach of the year.
Yep. I have an 8-1 on Staley in the account already for coach of the year. Listen, as much buzz as he's been getting, as much of the rounds, as much of the praise as he's been getting, it's still voted on by human beings, and human beings get affected by those things. And I was, listen, I love every single time something he does gets retweeted 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 times. I love every single bit of that. For sure. Brad, so there are 3s still available if you want the Chargers. There are 2.5s available if you want the Ravens. This is kind of a you almost look at it as kind of a who throws for more yardage type thing here. Who's more efficient through the air, as opposed to what we would typically have thought from a Ravens team. But that's kind of where we sit right now. I mean, I think I was a little bit naive as well, just to think that after you lose your first string, second string, and third string running back, that you would just be able to plug anybody in off the street and that this rush game would still be able to work as efficiently as it has the last few years. I think that was pretty naive on my part, and maybe a lot of people's part out there. It is still a fairly complex run system that when it's working, it looks beautiful. But, again, it still needs the working parts to get going. Lamar's been able to get it done through the air so far, however.
Yeah, I think there's probably 3 prongs there. It's probably the running backs, being new and old that you mentioned. B, the offensive line not being what it was. A couple of years back they had Marshall Yanda, they had Ronnie Staley playing well, and that's just not the case this year. And then C, I think it's people just like filling up bodies in the box and saying to Lamar, if you want to beat us with the pass, you can. And he has done it, but I don't think that's what Staley's going to do. That's his MO, is make them run the ball, basically give up 5 yards of carry if you want. You just can't pass on us. Now the Browns could do that because they've got the horses up front, but I just don't think the Ravens are that well equipped to do it. They're just less good at run blocking, essentially. So I do like the Chargers' chances to slow down that Ravens passing attack. And on the other side of the ball, I'm not sure anyone's slowing down these Chargers this year. There is quite an interesting little statistical thing going on here, where Ravens are first in early down success rate and Chargers are 22nd. Now, normally I'd want to be on the good team in that, but. Mm-hmm. I think Herbert's success on 3rd and 4th down is a little bit more sustainable than you would think, just because he's so good under pressure, and he's I think 3rd down performance is kind of the best quarterbacks do well, because there's no trickery, there's no play action. They're going to chuck some blitzes at you. You've got to stand in there and deliver the ball, kind of just beat them. And since he's been in the league, he's done that now. And giving him sort of 2 late downs to do it instead of just 1, I think is quite powerful. So, yeah, I'm not sure the Chargers should be up 3-point underdogs to anyone in the league at this point.
But you've got to look at the total on this one, though, correct?
I bet the Chargers plus the points. I would look to the over, because just the aggressiveness on 4th down. You're going to have people going for it on their own 30, on the opposition 30. It's probably going to be touchdowns rather than field goals, maybe short fields. So I think that probably pushes you to an overlook, but prefer the Chargers side.